different. Under an Agile model, what you're actually going to do is you're going to start off from a business focus. And that business focus is going to say, okay, in order to get this project funded, I promise the organization a certain return on investment. I can spend a maximum amount of money to be able to achieve that return on investment, right? So from that fixed amount of resources, what it's going to do is it's going to buy me a dedicated project team for a fixed amount of time. I have $1 million to spend. That will buy me a development team for a maximum of 1 year. From now that fixed set of resources and time, I'm going to start developing requirements, all right? I'm going to start developing them one at a time. Those things that are of the highest priority to the business, I as the business analyst am going to elaborate them. They will then be developed. I will then have to do that again. I'm going to elaborate more requirements and we will develop them. All along the way, as we develop them in the real world, I'm going to be able to get real world feedback on what is it that we developed. That development is going to inform what our next development cycle looks like. And so one of the things that you should be seeing here is requirements gathering is not going to be a one-time upfront activity. All throughout the life cycle itself, it's going to be ongoing and ongoing. Ivana, do me a favor, make sure they have the air conditioning on. Cool. Ongoing and ongoing, okay? And so one of the things that is fundamentally different under an Agile process is I never wonder whether I'm going to come in on time, on budget, ever again. I absolutely will come in on time, on budget. The only question that will ever be in play is, will the business team prioritize requirements in such a way that when I do come in on time, on budget, they've gotten the value that was most important to them. Okay, they've gotten the value that was most important to them. Okay, so anybody have any questions about this fundamental shift? Most people have already seen it, right? Dialed into it? All right, that sounds good. Here's just a visual example of where things are different. This is what we're used to, right? You gather all the requirements up front, your highest priority requirement all the way down to the optional requirement. They all go into the binder, and then you move it through a maturity model. You will not get your highest priority requirement until you get your lowest priority requirement because it's one package. So I do it up front, and then my need as a business analyst is dramatically going to go down. I have a lot of work up front, and then I have very little work after that point. That's a model we're all pretty used to, right? Okay, excellent. But as I was saying, under an Agile model, that is not going to be the case. Under an Agile model, the need for business analysis is going to happen all throughout the life cycle itself. And in fact, even if I knew what the requirements were up front, which to a large degree I don't necessarily have the details on, the need for the business analyst is still going to be there. Because based on what I develop in the real world in that iteration, it's going to inform what are the right requirements for the next iteration. So again, you're taking what used to be a lot of work up front and then a massive drop in need for the business analyst, and I'm going to allocate that need across the entire life cycle itself. So this is one of the most important things that is fundamentally different about an Agile model. I'm not going to be like a light switch, turned on, turned off type of a thing. I'm going to allocate throughout the entire life cycle itself. Okay? You can probably put it down. Yeah, down there would be